Still on camera, okay. Okay, so again, this is take 2. This is Samanapshi. This is the second shir, Mishna Berura. We're learning Hilchos Chanukah. Getting closer to Hanukkah, so we'll continue. We were about to do a Bir Halacha, right? And I'll tell you exactly what it is. Taf Reish Ayin Aleph. Sif Vav. Yeah, Taf Reish, no, excuse me, Taf Reish Ayin Aleph Sif Hey. We'll look at the Mechaber again. We did the Mishna Berura. They will just review it again, and now we want to do the Bir Halacha because we're trying to understand the whole concept of the Shamish, the extra nair that we have lit during the time of the Hadlakas Neres Hanukkah. Let's try and understand more about that. Let's look at the Mechaber again, and a couple of quick Mishna Beruras. Who would like to read? Any volunteers? Israel, you want to start for us today?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Which one?
Sifhei. Ner Hanukkah menichoi al Pesach somik l'Rishus Harabim.
Ner Chanukah maniche al Pesach hasomok l'Rishus Harabim. The candle of Chanukah, you place it on the entrance that goes to the Rishus Harabim, and the chutz on the outside. Im habayis basur l'Rishus Harabim. If the house opens up into the Rishus Harabim, maniche al Pischa, on top of the entrance. Im yesh chatzah lifnei habayis. If there's a chatzah before the house, maniche al Pesach ha-chatzah. Puts it by the entrance of the chatzah.
Because you want to have the highest visibility of the Neres Hanukkah, as we said last time. And so therefore, if you have a chutzner, a courtyard, you want the Neres Hanukkah to be lit on the doorway going from the Rishus Harabim, the thoroughfare, to the chutzner, and then finally coming into the house. If you put it by the Pesach Habayis, you wouldn't be able, people on the outside wouldn't see it. So you want to put it, if you have a chutzner, a courtyard, you want to put it on the doorway leading from the courtyard into the Rishus Harabim. Okay? Let's say a person lives on a higher height, not on the ground level.
If he lives on a high level, there's no entrance that opens into Rishus Harabim. You place it by the window, by the Hasomah of Rishus Harabim, which is next to the close by Rishus Harabim. V'shatz hasakana, in times of danger, she'ein rasha l'kayim ha-mitzvah. You have able to fulfill the mitzvah, manichai al shulchanai.
Vidayo.
It's enough.
Okay, so at the time of danger, that you're not allowed to fulfill the mitzvah of putting the Ner Hanukkah outside in the Rishus Harabim, right? For whatever reason, but it would be dangerous to do that. Manichu al shulchan, you put the menorah, the candles of lights of Hanukkah, on the table. Vidayo, and that's sufficient. As many have that, they may still have that that minhag today to light it on the table. Oh, and now next. Very good.
You need another ner to use its light.
Now, so this is where we left off last week. What does this mean? First of all, when does this apply? Is this applicable even if the ner is being lit in the Rishus Harabim? Or is it only applicable when it's lit on the table? That's number one. And we'll see the Mishna Berura in a moment, right? But and then what does it mean lishtamish le'oiroi? You need an air in order that you can use the light. Use the light of what? We have to try and understand. Okay. Yesh medura.
If there is a medura, it means a flame.
Well, usually it's a bonfire or a some type, like I used to probably like a fireplace would be more, something like that in the house, if it's talking about in the house, right?
You don't need another candle.
Okay, so the Mechaber is telling us clearly if you have another light source, and then we can maybe discuss a little bit Bisman is that when you have lights in the house, if you're lighting in the house and you have lights in the house, if you have another light source, you need a shamish. Mishna Buz, in fact, he's going to discuss more or less about this. Just to tell you straight away, the minig is you have a shamish. That with all said and done, right? Getting to the end of the thing, right? You usually you light with a shamish, or you have a shamish there. Whether you light with it or not, it's another question. But the minig is basically you have a shamish in all cases. But if the im yesh medura, if you have a medura, they ain't a tzorach ner achir. You don't have another candle. Okay. Vimu adam. Chashuv. Go ahead.
Chashuv is a very important person. She'ein darka l'shtamesh la'or ha'medura. Not he'd like to use a candle of fire, the flame of a fire, right? Tzorach ner achir, you need to have another candle.
Right. So if you have adam chashuv, she'ein darka l'shtamesh la'or ha'medura. I mean, let's say you have an important person, and his way is not to use the ore of a medura. Let's say, he has a candelabra on the table when he eats. He has candles lit in proper places. He doesn't use the fire and its light in the fireplace to give him light that he uses in his home. He's an amachashiv. He's an honorable person. He lives a nice life, and he therefore has other, I would imagine, lights that he uses, so he doesn't need a ner achir. Such a person.
Apparently, the candles are worth more than the fireplace. Mm-hmm. It's more expensive.
Okay, well, we'll have to understand what that means. I mean, what is this point about the Adam Chashuv, right? Why is he in fact not required to have he'll need to have a ner achir, meaning the person who will not use the light of the medura, he's going to have to use another. He must have a shamish, right? We'll have to understand why. The Mishnah doesn't, in fact, explain so much here, but now we're going to see a couple of Mishnah Brews, then we see the Berura. We'll get a few more insights about this. The Mishnah Brew we want to speak about today starts Chav Dalid. Mishnah Brew Chav Dalid. Tzorach ner achir. And you need to have another ner.
Tzorach ner achir, masas ekeladara. To make a recognition in the matter.
A distinction, right? To make a distinction of the thing. So that we also spoke about a bit last week about what it's supposed to mean. So let's hold on. We'll try and get the clarity on what the Mishnah brings, that there's a distinction. What does it mean that there's a distinction here, right?
In Yesh Medura there is a fire. V'yachol ishtamesh lefaneha. Able to use it in front of it. Yesh hekera shaner shal mitzvah here. And there's a record distinction that this is a candle for a mitzvah.
Okay, so if you have another fire burning, right, another light source, and therefore there's a distinction that what you're doing here, that you're lighting in there shal mitzvah, right, then you don't need another light, another shamish, because since you have light which you can use, so what are you lighting the menorah for? Must because you want to do a mitzvah with it. You're not lighting it for light. You have enough light, right? So if you have enough light, the only thing you could be lighting right now is a ner shel mitzvah. So it's evident that you're lighting to do a mitzvah. So therefore, you don't need to have a shamish, right? But if you don't have a medura, right, then why are you lighting a candelabra on your table? I think I'm lighting a candelabra on my table because that's the way people eat. People eat with candelabras, right? Therefore, you need to have a shamish to show that this is a ner shel mitzvah.
We have like today fluorescence.
Right.
Would you need an extra candle?
Okay, so we'll see in the Mishnah Berura. It'll basically tell us and teach us that the minig is going to be that we have it anyway, right? Even though that we in theory we don't need to, right? But you could say another thing. We're all considered Adam Chashuv, like what the Mechaber said. Adam Chashuv, even though he has a Medura, he never uses the light of a Medura, right? But again, we don't understand exactly what that means. That he never, since he doesn't use the light of a Medura, therefore he does need a Ner Acher. But let's look at the Bir Halacha here. He's going to teach us a little bit more about the whole general situation. Okay? Everyone have the Bir Halacha there. It's the about 20 lines up from the bottom of the column of the Bir Halacha there. Right? The Divrei Maskas Tzurek Ner Acher. We need another Ner, Lishtamish La'oru, to be able to use the light of the, which light? I'm not sure. And not only that, to tell you the truth, if you want to be medactic, you see that the Divrei Maskel Mishna Berura Tzurek Ner Acher Lishtamish La'oru. That's a mapik at the end of the word La'oira, right? Is that a quote of the Mechaber? Take a look at the words in the Mechaber. V'tzurek ner achel ishtamish la'oiroi. See that, Amram? What's going on here? We make our own changes we make our own textual changes in the Mechaber. What's the difference between oiroi and oiro?
His and it.
And it.
Right?
Okay.
No?
I guess. I'm getting even more confused now. What are we talking about here? I had to, before a minute ago, I just had to figure out the Mechaber. Now I have to figure out the Mishna Berura. And it's a different. I didn't even get started with the Bir Halacha. I just got it down to a maskil.
Maybe Ner can be used in Nekiva and Nekiva and masculine.
Could be. I mean, I guess we could check it out. But okay, even if it is, why change the lashon?
Right.
To tell you the truth, if we see here, everyone go back to the Mechaber again. You see where the Chavdalit is, his little star, and his little ches. So the star, the Chavdalit is, we know that's the reference to the Mishna Berura. That's Sifkat and Chavdalit in the Mishna Berura. The little star there, that's a reference to Bir Halacha. Okay? Now, what's that little ches? That you go over to your extreme upper left-hand corner. That's the Bir Hagoyla, right? That tells you where the source of the halacha. So this is you see the ches there. It says Meimra the Rava Sham. It's a statement of Rava Sham, right? So that means Sham. You have to. I was taught once by a person who had apparently looked into it. So historically. Why do you see Shim Mem, Sham, you said it all over. Why didn't it, when typesetting was done by hand with lead or whatever it was, even more primitive things, so the individual letters, they had a limited amount. So if you put brachas, you have to have a lot of typeset. Called the typeset. You have to have a lot of typesets. So what they did was they made a lot of shin mems, right? And the shin mems just means la'el, meaning you're going back one more. Now you'll see it says. So ches is meimer the Rava Sham. So where's that? Sham bebraisa over there. So it's there in the brisa. Where's that? There. Right, so you jump back from Zion to Vav. So Bryce Sham Chaf Aleph. It's a Bryce Sham in Chaf Aleph. Where's the Chaf Aleph? We don't know yet. Ubeperish B'Tosef Sham. Okay, so you have to go from Vav. You have to turn back the page. Where's the previous one? Hey. Hey takes you back to Maimer Derav Sham. So you're still jumping back. Right, Dalit is Maimer Derav Huna Sham Chav Gimel. But what Gemara are we learning? Where's the Gemara? Where is it? Where is it? Right? So you keep jumping back and back and back until you try and find yourself a Gemara. I'll tell you, it's probably Shabbos, because that's where most of these sugyas are. If you go back all the way to Beis, I think that's the first time in the Bir Golden Beis, it says, Bryce Shabbos Chaf Aleph, Uka Beis Hillel. Right? So finally you get back there, right? You get back to the source, and it happens to be a Gemara in Shabbos, right? Gemara in Shabbos, and as we're taught in here, it's the Sham, which is Chaf Aleph, also. So, if you don't mind, I want to take a Gemara in Shabbos, and or Rambam, if you want to look it up, we'll do it together. Okay.
I'm going to bring it to you.
Let's see what the Gemara says. Okay? Because, thank you for Aleph. Now, it didn't say Amid Aleph or Amid Beis, but I'll tell you, there's a way, at least in the old Gemaras, I don't know what they do with the new Gemaras. New Gemaras
Yes,
changed.
I'm a mess here.
Oh, it does say? Okay, that's over there, Amid Beis. Let's try there first, thank you. So, Chaf Aleph Amid Beis.
It's narrowed. The plural is narrowed. So maybe he uses the feminine masculine words.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know.
Oh. So here, it happens to be on Chaf Aleph Amid Beis, Amarava, Tzorach Nia Acheris, Lishtamish Lo'orah, with a hey. With a hey. So where the Mechaber got the Vav, I don't know, right? But the Bir Locha, there's the Ramaskel is using the gears, so it could be different gears in the Gemara. There's a Bir Hagra here, one moment. What is the Vilna going on here? Don't know. Okay, so Ner Acheres. So Rashi says Ner Acheres Lasos Heker Ladavra, which is like the Mishna Berura. You'd be very surprised. Many times the Mishna Berura is basically straight from Rashi's or Gemara's or other in Rishonim. It's not, in general, the Mishna Berura is not mechadish so much. He's just bringing down things as a commentary to help us understand it's called a perush, it's called an explanation. And the explanation is really a pre-existing explanation, is what he's bringing it down, for us. E equal in Medura, okay. Okay, good. So the Bir Lacha is apparently going like the gears that we have in our somewhat standard Vilna edition of Shas, and but we can see there may be other additions, other ways to check this. So you see this expression, how it's usually the Torah is going to bring this expression down. See if the Torah had a different gear. So okay, but we're not Torah begirsa. There's an expression in Shas that the Talmidei Chachamim of the time of Gemara, they would use in Torah begirsa. It would be Torah. Torah means to be very occupied, preoccupied. They're preoccupied, right? Begirsos in the texts. They're preoccupied in the text. They're understanding the actual text, because everything is based on the words, right? You only develop ideas after you've understood the words. Once you understand the words, then you can develop ideas. But all the ideas are basically grounded in the text. Whatever happens to be, Shulchan Aruch, Tanakh, Gemara, Mishnayos, Rishonim. Okay, so if I have time, I'll try and get to the bottom of the difference in girsus between the Mechaber or Roy and Ora in the Ramaskel of the Mishna Berura. Okay, let's see the Bir Lacha. Okay, so if you have, you'll need to have another nair to use the light. It's like the light, right? The light of what? We don't know exactly. Okay, Perish Rashi, go ahead. Who would like to read the Bir Lacha? Any volunteers? Amram or Rachmin? You had the Mishra, you had the Mishra today. You had the Mishra. Okay, after you.
צריך נר אחר להשתמש להוראה. פירש רש"י, משום מקרא.
Which is like the Mishna Berura brought down, right? You should have a heker. Okay. Now what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah. Oh.
רצון לומר, is to say, שאפילו אם לא ירצה כלל להשתמש להוראה, even if he doesn't want to use the light of the candle, מכל מקום צריך נר אחר שיהיה היכולת בידו, he'll have the ability in his hand to להשתמש להוראה, to use it if he wants to.
Okay, let's
even
think.
If he doesn't.
Okay, let's think about this. What does it mean? Afilu im lo yirtze klal ishtamis l'ora. Let's say he doesn't want to use the light, right, at all, right? Nevertheless, tzurach ner acher. You need an additional candle, in order that you should have the ability to use the light. Clear?
The
Okay.
ability to use a light.
You have to have the ability to use the light.
It
Meaning,
has to be there. If you want to use it, it has to be there.
right.
Even if you don't use
Even if you don't, you're not intending. Meaning, I'm lighting this menorah for the sake of the mitzvah. This haneres harim kodesh name, right? Also l'shtamish them. You can't use them, right? I'm lighting this menorah absolutely, completely, entirely for the sake of the mitzvah. Nevertheless, right? I need another ner there in case I want to use it. I could use it. That's what the Mishna and Berura is saying so far. Correct? Okay.
By this fact, it is recognizable that the Shanir is shown, the Shem Mitzvah, that the first Shanir is shown, the first candle, the Shem Mitzvah, it is used for a mitzvah.
Okay, so how do we understand this? Through this second nair being lit, it's making it apparent, obvious, that the first candle that was lit because of the sake of a mitzvah. Because if I just wanted to use the light, I would light one nair, right? And I have to check. I have somewhere in my head that a person shouldn't read by one candle. You should have two candles burning when you read. In Yonim, right? I don't know if it's usur, right? But if that's the case, if it's true, Bichlal, I don't know, I have to check it out, then it'll make a difference the first night, the second night, whatever. But we're saying over here right now that even if you don't want to use the nair at all, nevertheless, you have to have another nair lit, the second nair lit, in order that if you do change your mind and want to use it, you can use it. Because why? Because by lighting the second nair, the second light being lit is a gilui, it's a revelation on what I'm doing originally. Why am I lighting a second light? Right? Because obviously the first light is a mitzvah light, and I can't use that mitzvah light. So if I want to use light in this room, I have to have another light in this room. Go ahead, what's going on here?
You guys, the Shemazim said, they lose the shamas.
Yeah.
They light the shamas first, light the other candles, and then put it back. So it's the first light is not the menorah light.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll
Okay.
see. Well,
I'm sorry.
No, you don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
This hit first light.
No,
that's it.
the Mishna Berura said
That's
the
what
first
I'm saying. That just
yeah.
brings down the first light.
Yeah.
So the first light, if you use the shamas as a lighting,
Yeah.
then that's not the first light because you're going to put the shamas back, and that's your second light.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it makes a difference.
We'll have to see. It's not so simple. To tell you the truth, not so. We have to see when we get to that halacha, we'll have to see what the Mechaber writes and what the Ramah writes and what keep that in mind. That's going to be a very delicate point. Yeah. So therefore, by lighting the second light, right, it's relevation, an indication that the first light was lit l'shem mitzvah. Okay, let's continue.
Because it's standing on the table, they will say, it's a kohilika, for their own purpose, for their own sake, they lighted it.
Because if you don't have that second light lit, then since it's standing on the shulchan, people will say, why is it this nair burning on the table? Because he's using it for his purposes of eating, reading, right, learning, whatever he might be doing, right? So first of all, this answers one of the questions when we learned in the Mechaber, what is going on? That's apparently only talking about if it's on the inside on the table, right? Apparently, if it's on the outside, right? Where no one sits. Maybe in our days now people sit on their front porch, but even now, people do things on the inside. No one's using light on the outside. Apparently, if you're lighting on the outside, you don't need a shamish. Is that you like that on Mordechai? Is that a good idea? What do if you're lighting on the outside, but Pesach Habayis by the Rosh Hashanah, you have to have a shamish? Or only a shamish if you're lighting on the inside, al shulchan. What's logical? What's logical? It seems logical to me that if it's, and the Mishna seems to confirm it. Only if you're lighting on the table, that's when you need to have a shamish to show that the light that you lit just now was a light. Originally, the first light you lit was originally lit for the sake of a mitzvah. Therefore, you're lighting another candle to, if you want, to be able to use the light. But if you're going to be in the Shusarabim where people don't use the light, probably, most likely, then you most likely don't need any shamish at all.
That may be today. But in those days, there was no street lamps.
Yeah.
And that was a lamp. So if you didn't have a shamus there, they were going to use the Chanukah lamp.
But it could be, right, correct, 100%. However, but no one goes out and lights lights. No one lights lights on the Rosh Hashanah by Pesach Beisai.
Today.
No. Then in those, let's try and go back.
He said, Petach Hachatz. He said in the beginning of the thing,
Right.
So that was outside in the street.
Right.
Okay, so they didn't have lights. So this is the light that's going to give people light, unless they carry
That
no light.
was on a door. On the
house.
door.
On the Rosh Hashanah.
But people know they're not walking by the house.
Of course they're walking.
They're walking in the main street. It's far away from the house.
No, they mentioned it's in the house. It says Rosh Hashanah. It has to be in Rosh Hashanah because that's when people have to see it. If you're in
They
private
can see from far away. They don't have to be so close.
No, you're true enough. But they lit by the Pesach Habayis. They lit by with the courtyard with the Pesach Habayis. Right. But I would guess, again, I wasn't there, so I don't know. I would guess that no one lit any lights on the outside. Stop wasting time and money and oil and candles.
Why did they do it outside? I don't understand.
No one lit anything. The only time you lit, when you lit a light on the outside, everyone knew it was a mitzvah. It was a Hanukkah.
Right, but I'm saying the people who are walking in the street are using that light to get around. That's what I'm saying.
Fine.
So if you don't put a shamus, they're using the light of the menorah.
True.
So if you put a shamus, you don't have a problem outside.
So
you're saying that we don't have to put one outside, but I'm saying different. I'm saying that if people walking in the street are going to use that menorah lamp, if you don't have a shamus, they're using the light of the menorah itself. No,
Okay.
Or it doesn't count if it's somebody else.
That's what
that could be a point. If it's somebody else, it could be a point.
Okay.
Number one, it could be a point. Number two, maybe what's the yesod here? What's the essence of the isur? And there is how kodesh haim. Right. Why is it also to mishtamish with the or of the menorah, of the Hanukkah menorah? Why is that? Is that because the etzim there's a kedusha here, like you can't use it if you makdish a cow for the base of mikdash, you over meal if you use that cow, right? Something is it like an iser hana?
The zecher menorah shel beit mikdash.
Right. Okay.
Which is forbidden to use its own.
Very good.
So this is in place of it, so you can't use it because of that.
Right. So if that was the case, why do you need why does the menorah help?
Because that light mixes with this light, and it's telling you that it's okay.
So we'll try and get into. We'll maybe understand that. Fine, maybe that. However, if it's a heker, right? If it's a heker, we need to show, right, that this is a ner shel mitzvah. What's the shamish for? Is the shamish a matir, meaning it permits you to use the ner, or apparently what we're saying here, it's a heker. It's a heker to show what you did, what you lit originally was a ner shel mitzvah. So if it's a matir, right? So in Rishus Rabim, right? So okay, maybe some people will come and use it. Maybe okay, whether you have to be choshish for the miyat, I don't know. But let's say you do. So, okay, yeah. So according to that way of understanding, you need a shamish, right? If it's simply a heker to show that it's a ner shel mitzvah. Well, if no one puts neros on the doorposts, right?
Yes.
Except once a year during Hanukkah, I don't need a heker. Everybody knows why I'm lighting out by the Pesach Habayis.
Right.
So it depends on what the real reason of the shamish is.
Okay.
And that will maybe even go back further, what the real isser is in using the light of the menorah. Okay, we have another 10 days or so, maybe, to try and work it out before Hanukkah. We'll continue Mitzvah Shem tomorrow.
First, what's the aim of collecting a Chanukah?
Excuse me?
What's the aim of collecting a Chanukah?
It's a big mitzvah. The Mishnah Berura brings it down. You must.
Where Mishna Berura bring it down?
Where? That is the Mishnah Berura here in Tuf Reish Ayin. You have it there, Tuf Reish Ayin. Go back a page or two.
Yeah.
Tuf Reish Ayin, a minute. Here, at the end of Sifkat and Aleph. You have it there at the very end.
Yeah.
It says here, right? מפני שיש ימי שמחה והלל, לכן עשו בהם הספיריטאים. ונוהגים העניים לסבב החנוכה על כוסיהם, ויש טעם לזה. And the meaning of the poor people was to go around collecting from door to door on Hanukkah, and there's a reason for this.
Yes, which Mechaber is this?
Mechaber in Reish, Tuf Reish Ayin, Sifkat and Aleph.
Oh, Matsurin Asus Melacha.
Right.
Well, don't say about the Niyam. I don't see about the Niyam.
Yeah, the very last line of Mishnah Berura. Noigin ha'aniyim l'savei b'Hanukkah al pesehim. Have it there, the Mishnah Berura in the Sharat Zion, Gimel, Sifkat Gimel in the Sharat Zion brings down Magen Abraham. Take a look at the Magen Abraham in Shulchan Aruch.
Okay. Alright, done.
Good? Okay.
Which Mishnah Berura is it that the Nagin Aniyim? Mishnah Berura what?
Come over here, I'll show it to you. Amen.